So ladies and gentlemen, we are good to go. Celebration. Oh man, I wish I had some more noise making material over here. I gotta.
All right. Well, for me, it's sort of welcome, especially all your guests. You know, this is my first time, and I really look at you as a godsend because I don't think I would have done this alone. So I really needed a partner to get me to this Facebook Live experience. And here he is, Mr. Ruben Medina, MC Medina. And, you know, like I said, no chance meetings, right? This was just amazing how we met online and just sort of have a very similar vision. And when I talked to him and understood sort of where his head was, I knew that he needed to be a guest on hashtag empathy for grief, break the silent struggle with grief and loss. And I can only say that I hope this isn't the last time, but this is our first time.
Definitely. Good afternoon. Thank y'all for checking in. I got a homie with me. We haven't even met, but I'm calling her my homie because we connected, you know, on such a deep spiritual level. Her name is Miss Debra Hester, and she's got books and she's got all types of stuff. Y'all can't see her right now, but we're doing this on Zoom video for the first. I mean, this is my first time.
Mine too.
Yeah, this is both of our first time doing the podcast, video style, big quarantine style, no masks today. I thought about wearing one just for aesthetic purposes, but then I thought I should probably have gloves too, and I don't have gloves, so we just threw out the whole idea. But we're definitely
mask.
We're more than 6 feet apart right now, so we're good.
I'll go through the front end about the podcast a little bit.
Okay.
It's all about breaking the silent struggle with grief. This is my 16th podcast. Hashtag empathy for grief. You can get podcasts anywhere you download podcasts. It's available through most podcast providers. And what I do is every podcast, I talk about a subject from my book. I wrote this book, My Backyard Garden, a memoir of how love conquers grief. And it really chronicles the last days of my mother's life. And she was like my everything. And I lost her. I had a long time, don't get me wrong. And she was ready to leave this world. She had lived a long, healthy life, and she was only ill near the end. So that's a blessing of itself. But she told us all these different things. And she had a chance to tell all the grandkids, the kids, and her great grandchildren. And what she told me is, this is your book. So I actually wrote this book, My Backyard Garden, a memoir of how love conquers grief. And I named it My Backyard Garden because my mother said that, you know, God had prepared her and that she wasn't afraid to die, and that he had told her to help the children because the children go out into the world for the things that they should get in their own backyard. So It's Backyard Garden is the name of the book, My Backyard, because she left us with a lot of love. And I struggled so until I realized other people were struggling. And I just started creating a podcast because it's a journey. You know, grief is a journey we all will take. And this particular episode is about portal to another world.
Yes.
Right? Yes.
Heard that here first, okay?
What?
The MC Medina, I said they heard it here first. The MC Medina experience is portal to another world, and that's where we're going to take you guys right now. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Exactly. And, you know, as you can tell, Ruben is so charismatic, right? He has all these different talents of music. I love his music. And we're gonna, if you see the video of this, we're going to make sure that his music is in here, right? So, because he has one song we wanted to play during here that's called Wake Up, because that's what we're talking about. Wake up. Sometimes you need a portal to another world. You need to get away from where you are. And that's where I found myself. And I found myself on my way to my mother's bedside before she passed, on the plane, in the public, breaking down, wanting to cry, wanting to throw up, wanting to faint, everything, but I couldn't, right? And that's sort of like how we are today. We all, every time you go out in public, you got to be wrapped up and wrap your head and hands covered. And so there are times when it's enough, you know what I mean? You're out in public and you just need this time to get away, right? Our minds are wonderful. So that's one of the things I wanted to talk about. If you have been stuck in a public place and grief or loss strikes you, what do? You create that portal to another world, right? So, and the way I do it is just imagining that I'm somewhere else, right? I will close my eyes or keep my eyes open so I won't be really strange looking to folks. But in my mind, I am somewhere else. That portal is under construction. And in a few minutes, I'm going to be through that portal and with the people in the place that brings peace and stability to me. So, you know so much, Ruben, about how to bring peace and how to find yourself and things like that. Tell us how you would do that. Tell us your perspective on that portal to another world and how to manifest that in the real world.
Oh man,
I know. I'm gonna get deep with you now.
I like how we're starting off in the deep end already.
I mean, hashtag empathy for grief gets deep now. We don't make any excuses for taking people where they are or meeting them where they are, however high, low, medium, or deep they want to go.
Yeah, I like it. And Hispanic and Black folks, we're not used to the deep end either. We stay in shallow water. So this is kind of out of the ordinary for in that regard, metaphorically speaking. But thank you so much, first of all, everybody being here. Thank you, Debra, for having me on. I'm so excited about this. Hope y'all can see it in my face. It should be glowing.
It's glowing.
It's glowing hard. No, and I because you mentioned the wake up, I got to do this. We could even do this a cappella. So check it out. It's okay. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, for you've forgotten who you are. Travel far from home, we come from the stars. Not just above you, the one in your third eye, your golden self, the you who sees through the lies. Came here to learn to see beyond the illusion. Truth about this hyperdimensional transfusion. Each day a new experience unlocks an old memory. This body is extension of source, accessory. We're all light vibrating to create this form. So do your part to be a spark in the storm. I'm looking for a lighter. I was gonna see if I could.
That's all right. We're with you.
Do your part to be a spark in the storm. Ripples create waves. So be the change you wish to see. Act from the heart. Love is the only key. Don't stop there, because it's just so much you can learn. This world and those beyond. Keys waiting to be turned. Take a look around what's hidden in plain sight. Sacred G and Fibonacci, all the way into infinity.
That's it.
So we got a lot going on there.
That's word, right?
Bars.
Right. And you're so right. Us brown and Black people, I mean, we know how to have a good time, but we've endured so much until we just know how to cover up stuff, don't we? But, then on the other side is that I think we are connected to source, right?
We are connected to source. Yeah, we're one race on the planet, according to all the great mystics and what they call ascended masters, or even people like Deepak Chopra, Eckhart Tolle, people who have claimed a certain level of self-mastery.
Right. We're all connected to source. And sometimes our brothers and sisters who are farther from source, we need to help them. I was listening to a lady the other day, and she said, I don't want to call people out. I want to call people in.
There you
and I thought
go.
that was wonderful, right? We want to call people in so they can be closer to the source.
Yes.
And so they can learn love. What?
I said, we're calling you from the north to the south side, calling you. Y'all got come on and take a ride, calling you.
Exactly. We're calling you in. And that's what hashtag empathy for grief is, because I found out that so many people are suffering from some traumatic event in their life. Yes. And it can be a loss of a loved one. And then all of a sudden grief and loss came up after COVID-19. But there have been people who are grieving and from loss way before COVID-19, with all of the deaths and all of the wars and, not having what they feel like they need, all of that's lost. And now the whole world knows that what it's like to lose your lifestyle, right? People struggling over losing their lifestyle, but some of us have been losing our lives and our families and having to deal with it. So that's what this is all about. Hashtag empathy for grief for yourself. Show yourself some empathy.
Hashtag.
Right? Yeah, show yourself some love, some understanding. That's what empathy is, treat yourself with care and treat others with care and love and empathy, right? And we got to break the silence. Don't keep this quiet. I mean, listen to those beautiful, verses. I want you to say it again. It's just wonderful. We all need emotional lifesavers.
Wake up, for you've forgotten who you are. Travel far from home, we come from the stars. Not just above you, the one in your third eye. Your golden self, the you who sees through the lies. Came here to learn to see beyond the illusion. Truth about this hyperdimensional transfusion. Each day a new experience, unlock an old memory. This body is extension of source, accessory. We're all light, vibrating to create this form. So do your part to be a spark in the storm. Ripples create waves to be the change you wish to be. Act from the heart. Love is the only key. Don't stop there, cause there's just so much you can learn. This world and those beyond keys waiting to be turned. Open up what's around, hidden in plain sight. Sacred G and Fibonacci all the way into infinity. Wake up, love, for you've forgotten who you are. Wake up, 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 for you've forgotten who you are. Travel far from home, we come from the stars. Please wake up, love, for you've forgotten who you are. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. My people, wake up, for you've forgotten who you are. Travel far from home, we come from the stars. Let's go. Manifest your intention with the power of your mind. Meditate your way to freedom, and freedom you will find. This isn't new age jargon, this is something that is real. It's something that is lived, something you can feel. It's just my art, don't believe it from me. Go and journey on your own and share what you see. As collective consciousness, together we will grow. Create your own reality, as above, so below. Source is a course that we're all headed on. Don't be spiritually broke, cause there's nothing to pawn. Dive into yourself and hear the beautiful song of the universe singing like it has all along. Get your strength from the foods that you're eating. Must have strengths for the words that you're speaking. To reach and teach the weary and the weak in. The energy to practice the words you're preaching. Put them words into action like a digital priest. I'm peace, it's peace, I'm like a digital priest. Put them words into action like a digital priest. MC Medina, never gonna stop, never gonna cease. Put them words into action like a digital priest. It's peace, I'm like a digital priest. Never gonna stop, never gonna cease. MC Medina putting it down like a digital priest. Peace. Wake up, love, for you've forgotten who you are. My people, wake up, wake up, y'all wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, for you've forgotten who you are. Come on, travel far from home, we come from the stars. Y'all gotta wake up, love, for you've forgotten who you are. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Please wake up, for you've forgotten who you are. Travel far from home, we come from the stars.
So what are some other ways that we can create these emotional lifesavers through this portal to another world? We were talking a little bit about creating, at least that's how I do it, create it. And I know that you probably do it by creating song and verse, right? Is that your way?
I do. I'm kind of like you too, in a sense where I enjoy writing.
Mm-hmm.
Recently, more of the writing has been going on in my head, and I haven't been like, there would be times where I would wake up in the middle of the night and I'm fully prepared and things start just coming. I call them downloads from source, or the great creator spirit, as we call it, with the Native American organization that I'm a part of. But yeah, the great creator spirit will inspire us, and I'd be popping up in the middle of the night and just start writing stuff down. I want to go ahead and dive straight into it, because you've been able to really hack life. I want to do a video series called MC Medina's 50 Life Hacks.
Okay.
And they're just little tidbits. And you've been able, just after having several conversations with you, I have seen you have been able to utilize a lot of these life hacks. Mm-hmm. Now, a lot of these life hacks, I'm going to just bestow the knowledge onto everybody right now. If you want to have a head start in being the best you can be, or being a G. And when I say being a G, I don't mean a gangster or gangstress. I mean a god or a goddess.
Yes.
And for the gender, non-specific gender folks, it can be a combination of whatever you want. Okay, so there's no right and wrong here, and be very prideful of whatever it is that you are. Please, everybody. So the 12 universal laws is ancient knowledge from ancient civilizations, starting with the Sumerians, mm-hmm. the Lemurians, going into the ancient Egyptians, and then all of that culture infiltrated into what we know as the ancient Mayans, Incans, and the different indigenous all over the world. This is something that I've studied. And after speaking with people at the School of Metaphysics in Dallas, I got a chance to speak with faculty and students there. Mm-hmm. And so the 12 universal laws, AKA God's law.
And can you tell everybody metaphysics? You know, a lot of people, don't understand metaphysics. I mean, they may have tried to avoid taking physics in school. Yeah. So metaphysics is a little different than physics. So, we might want to clarify that for people.
Okay, so good. That's a good point. So we have our physical world, which is this vessel that we're currently utilizing to engage in the 5 senses. And it can do fun spiral things like that. I was in ceremony one time doing ayahuasca, and I did that, and it was just one of the most mind-blowing experiences that I had. And I was just looking and moving my hands. It's like remembering how important just our breath is.
Yes.
Type of moment where you're just enchanted by the simplest thing of the mechanics of your hands. Anyways, the 12 universal laws, is that where we were?
Yes, you were about to tell us. I wanted you to tell them about metaphysics, and you did that.
Okay, yeah, so the physical world, this is this. And then metaphysics is another way of saying spiritual, esoteric. There's more words for this.
Like energy? Is it
exactly.
Energy? Okay. I hear energy waves, things that you can't see, but you can feel.
There's that. Yeah. For all my empaths out there, mm-hmm. Thank you for being empathic. Trust in that characteristic and that gift that you have, because being an empath definitely helps us move love into the world. And so, yeah. So what we're using then is, whenever people say catch the vibe, or, can you catch my vibe? It's sort of saying, are you able to see me with your mind's eye, with your third eye? And your mind's eye is what we use when we want to visualize a desired outcome. Mm-hmm. And in visualizing a desired outcome, that's essentially it's like prayer, because when we're praying, we find ourselves being in gratitude, like we're saying, thank you, God. So we're being in gratitude. And then once we express our gratitude, now we feel comfortable asking for things, right? So normally we're like, thank you, God, for everything that I got. Now check this out, man. I need help paying the rent this month.
Exactly.
Right? And so what we're essentially doing is we're visualizing in our mind's eye different, either money being deposited into your bank account, or if you're a freelance worker, it's a check that's given to you somehow, maybe even electronically. But we're able to visualize with our mind's eye our desired outcome. And
or our health. Let me put some, because all of it doesn't have to, we can heal ourselves to some degree, you know what I mean? Too, you can bring healing to yourself, to your mind and your spirit, because a lot of people, but especially with my podcast, Ruben, I know this is your first guest. You're my first guest. People feel stuck.
Right? When we do that, raise the roof.
Yes. But people feel stuck. They feel like they can't get over the loss of a loved one or something that they've lost. And that's what you're talking about, right? That's a way, is to envision how you want to feel. Instead of, right?
Exactly. Envisioning how you want to feel, or whatever desired outcome. It doesn't need to be material. It could definitely be even health related.
Mm-hmm.
Mental health, physical health, spiritual health.
Yeah.
And emotional health.
Mm-hmm.
And financial health. So those are the 5 things that I normally like to, because I'm into holistic healing and being a holistic advisor and an ambassador of holistic alternative methods to finding peace in your human.
Oh, love it.
Yeah. So, and I want to go back to the 12 universal laws, because whenever we're visualizing things with what we call our mind's eye or our third eye, or it's technically in scientific terms known to be the pineal gland. And the pineal gland, according to not only ancient civilizations, mystics, doctors and scientists, is known to be the seat of the soul. So the pineal gland, or your mind's eye, or your third eye, is like the cockpit of a spacecraft. It's like it's the pilot seat of our space suit that we know to be our physical human bodies, our vessels. Mm-hmm. And these 12 universal laws, when we're using our mind's eye, pineal gland, third eye, we're utilizing these 12 universal laws. And if anybody has seen, there's a documentary that really put things in perspective for me at the time. It's a book, and it's also a video documentary. It's called The Secret. The Secret Law of Attraction. Okay. And the secret law of attraction explains it's pretty much like an hour and a half to 2 hours of, and I highly recommend the audio book too, ladies and gentlemen. It dives deep into the 7th universal law, which is the law of attraction. And the law of attraction, now all 12 universal laws are laws that are constantly at play. They're always at work. They're immutable. There's no way to stop these laws. They're like the laws of our whole universe and multiverse and all of creation. So that's why they're called the 12 universal laws.
And we're going to have you back to talk about all of them. I know we were focusing, it was 2 that you always mentioned to me, the law of attraction, and then the one.
Yeah, and then the very first one is one that I like to touch on, and that's the law of oneness. Now, when we watch and when we listen to The Secret Law of Attraction, it's, like I said, an hour and a half to 2 hours of simply focusing on number 7. They don't even really mention anything about the other 11 universal laws. And that's why I want to take a moment to heavily stress to our listeners right now, not right now, after we get done, because we're still dropping a lot of jewels. After we get done, look up the 12 universal laws. Please make yourself familiar. This is ancient knowledge that secret societies and the elite have purposely kept away from the masses. And with great knowledge comes great responsibility. If you find yourself here in this now moment, hanging out and chilling with Debra and I, you've called this into your experience. You've asked for this. That's why we are here in the now moment, specifically telling you, take a note, look up the 12 universal laws. First one I'm going to tell you about is the law of oneness. And the law of oneness specifically reminds us. Now, I want to clearly express myself to our brothers and sisters that these 12 universal laws is not new to you. It might seem new to you right now and maybe a little bit foreign, but once you read these 12 universal laws, you will resonate with them to such a high level and such a heavy degree and high frequency that you will have a sense that you are being reminded of something that you already knew.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. And that's what's beautiful about it too.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my experiences have been brought upon through traditional Native American ceremonial settings with ayahuasca and different plants that have led me into these places in our mind of great peace, of great harmony and understanding and compassion and acceptance and bonding and bliss, and the list goes on. You, Debra, you had a very life-altering experience with the death of your mother.
Yes.
So
and my mother was an empath too.
So what I feel like happened there is, because in the ayahuasca ceremonies, it's a rebirth experience.
Yes.
So in a rebirth experience, there is a certain degree of quote unquote death that one would experience. And what I experienced is something known as ego death.
Mm-hmm.
And so how our stories are so awesome and unique and compatible is that you experienced your mother, which was a piece of you that you self-identified with. Absolutely. And when she passed away, that's like a piece of you dying.
Absolutely.
And that's exactly what happened to me in the ayahuasca ceremonies.
Exactly.
I felt like.
Exactly.
So this led us to a place in our mind where we had to put our emotions to the side. Mm-hmm. We had to recognize that we are way more powerful than this self-identification that we have created. And a lot of people say the ego mind creates this illusion of separation. Mm-hmm. And that's going back to the law of oneness, mm-hmm. which is number one out of the 12 universal laws. Mm-hmm. The law of oneness explains that everything is connected in the organic living world. What does that mean to us? Here on earth, what that means to us is the animal kingdom, the plant kingdom, and I like to say the insect and fungus kingdom, because those play very intricate roles in our human experience today. Our ability to breathe clean carbon dioxide. Oh, wait, we breathe in oxygen, we exhale carbon dioxide.
Breathe.
See, that what happens is when you get sucked into the oneness, you forget about all the details now.
Right. All the terms that have been attached to things.
Yeah,
that's all they are. They're terms that someone has identified as what already existed.
Exactly. Yeah.
It was already here. Air didn't get a name. It was, somebody gave it that.
Yeah.
Right? But I want to go back to, the oneness and, because a lot of my listeners have lost someone, right? So when I first lost my mother, I did feel like I had lost part of myself, and I did go through a lot of emotions, right? I think emotions are healthy, right? I think they're human, but how is it that they help us get to where we need to go if we just keep with them? Or did I have to come to the realization, did I have to go through all those emotions to come to the realization that my mother is still with me?
Well, that's different for everybody, because people like you had a very blessed, shout out to your pops, because from what I've heard, he has done a phenomenal, astronomically good job, thorough job with raising his children. And that's what we like to hear that about fathers today. That's very important.
And I'm going to bring him on too, because he's a student of ancient civilization. That's his whole perspective, is that we all need to go back to our ancient African ancestry, because it's there that formulated everything, and it's based on a lot of goodness, but it got used for bad. It got secluded, exclusive, and then exclusive sort of let evil into it, and then it manifested itself in a not so positive way. But that's another thing. I know we jumping all over the place, but that's another thing I wanted you to talk about, is that because my dad explained that we're moving from the age of Pisces, which is suffering, 2,500 years. We're not talking about the zodiac signs now. We're talking about the planetary movement, not the stuff you say, what do you do as a Pisces and what do you do as a Aquarius? But this is a age, like the dinosaur age. Now and we're living in the age of Pisces, but we're transitioning into the age of Aquarius, which is right.
With MC Medina, catching the vibe. With the smoky marijuana.